Let's bring in Svetlana Mutvienko. She's an assistant professor of critical media analysis at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, Canada. The report mentions the influence of Putin's propaganda on the people from Donetsk. How does this relate to your research on the militarization of information and disinformation?
Hello. It's directly related to my research, and I have quite interesting discoveries lately. In the past, I was mostly interested in the information alone, in weaponization of information, in construction of certain messages, propaganda messages, and so on. And of course, I saw the strong influence, especially when propaganda and disinformation has been very much weaponized for the last almost 10 years. But I discovered something else that I think is incredibly important to consider. The environment that people live in on the occupied territories is not just informational environment. This is an environment of terror. And I literally coined this term and call it terror environment. This environment is kind of mixes very different things. Partly it is information and messages of propaganda. Then people receive these messages at the moment when they are being attacked, literally, when they hear explosions, when there are all the sounds of sirens and so on. Then there is an incredible pressure from the occupational regime. And then also there is a war pollution. So it affects people's health incredibly. So it's never only information, and we have to consider all these things all together. And when people make up certain beliefs, whether on the basis of what they hear on TV or what they hear on the streets, like it's very much combined and composed in this very particular environment. And that's what is incredibly dangerous, because even, it's very easy to shake someone's sense of reality, even in a kind of, in the life outside the war. But here we have this incredibly dangerous and incredibly difficult environment of terror.
Svetlana, very briefly, if you can, what strategies do you recommend for individuals to protect themselves against digital militarism, if you will?
It depends where these people are. There are, of course, very different things people could and should do when they are in such militarized environment, when they are in the midst of war. If they are there, I would recommend that they really understand the kind of impact of the situation on the information that they receive. Sometimes they are not getting enough information because not all information can be communicated even by Ukrainian government. And what is communicated very often has a strategic purpose, right? So we don't know how many people were killed. We don't know how many soldiers were killed. So there is something that the government cannot say, and we need to kind of live with a certain lack of information. But at the same time, people need to kind of, restrain the affect and emotion probably when they are so heavily targeted by, again, direct propaganda, but also automated propaganda by means of bots and bot firms and things like that. But of course, there are people outside of the war who are also targeted by basically the same channels, the same misinformation and disinformation producers. And I'm always having questions from people from Canada or Europe that are receiving the same convoluted messages. And so that's why I really think people just need to pay attention and kind of like understand that this is war and information is one of the major weapons.
Svetlana Matviyenko, Assistant Professor of Critical Media Analysis at the Simon Fraser University. Thank you very much.